Hey, it's Chris. Good morning. Keeping it real. Got some thoughts about this virus, and this virus has brought up a lot of moral issues, ethical issues, doing what's right issues, and things like that. What should we be doing actually about this virus? And I think the main issue that I have right now with our reaction to the virus, and I'm not saying it's necessarily wrong, I'm just saying that it's leading to a false conclusion, and that is that all these shelter-in-place orders are actually going to stop the virus, or that if the shelter-in-place orders do stop the virus, that necessarily makes us safe again. Let's just think this through together, shall we? Wuhan province, well, the city itself has 15 million people, and according to the Chinese authorities, I don't know how many have died, but it's in like the tens of thousands. It's not a very high number. It's not a significant portion of the population. And even if we adhere to the 10 times rule, which means that for every case that's documented, there's 10 out there that aren't presumably recovered and never symptomatic, but still capable of spreading the virus. Let's just take a worst case. Let's just say they're totally lying and 1 million people are dead. I mean, okay, let's just do that. I'm not saying there are. I'm just saying let's just figure that they really underreported it because they wanted to save face. And now they say it's done. Right. Well, first of all, that leaves 15 million people in that city, 14 million people in that city that haven't gotten exposed, haven't gotten the virus. Well, they haven't got exposed, right? I mean, I think that's because everybody was forced to stay home for a month, so they haven't had a chance to go out and be exposed, and so the crisis is over, right? Is it over? Well, no, it's not over, because all the conditions that led to the origination and spread of the virus in the first place are still there in that country. Unless they figured out a way to go and kill all of, whatever animal this virus jumped from, if they haven't been able to 100% tell us that all those animals that were infected with that virus are dead, then it's simply a matter of time before someone else gets infected with that virus, because that virus is not gone. Not to be too critical of John Campbell, but he said, well, the only place this virus can exist is in human beings. Well, no, it can exist in animals too, obviously, because that's where it originated. Unless it originated in a bioweapons lab, which that's a pretty crappy bioweapon if you ask me. Because it doesn't kill very many people. I mean, you think they'd be a little bit more able to make a better bioweapon than that, but I'm not into conspiracy theories. I mean, I like the whole premise that it was animal to human being transmission. Probably somebody ate something, but you can even get it by touching an animal. So, according to what I've heard on the news, I mean, if you can trust anything that you hear on the news, but still, let's just roll with it. So there is still a huge number of people who can still become infected. So it's like, what are they going to, and if it pops back up, what are they going to do? Do the same thing again? And so that brings me to this country where, we're all talking about flattening out the curve and trying to make sure we don't overrun medical staff, and I get all that. But here's what I also get. When people start talking about, you'll save lives. You'll save lives by staying in place. And I don't think that statement is true. We might save tens of lives, but we already know the fact of the matter is that people who are admitted into the hospital and need a ventilator, 2/3 of them die. I mean, those are just the hard facts. And so we don't have enough ventilators, and everybody acts like, well, if we just had enough ventilators, if we just had more staff, if we just had more of this or more of that, that we could somehow get through this and save lives. And the fact of the matter is, this virus is either going to kill you or it's not going to kill you. And that's pretty much just how viruses work. There is no medical treatment to kill the virus. There isn't. And so, to me, it just seems apparent. And I understand why we're trying to do all this. I mean, I think overall it might be the most humane thing to do, except if we destroy the economy while we're doing it, and then people die because they don't have money to buy food, then what have we really accomplished? See, these are some of the hard questions you have to ask yourself. It's like, well, nobody has a job, and people are dying of starvation or lack of medical care because they can't afford to go to the hospital anymore, because they can't afford insurance no matter what the government does. Then what have we is the world a better, is the United States of America a better place for that? And I know it sounds kind of heartless, but you know, the thing is, it's not human beings that are being heartless. This virus is heartless. Viruses don't care. Viruses just do what they do, and you either live or you die, and that's just the way it is. And all we're really doing is stretching out the timeline of deaths. That's all we're doing. And so, you know, I don't know the answer. I mean, it would be easy for me to, well, let's just let it ride. And you know, the virus will do what it does. And you know, people just aren't quite that. You know, this isn't 1918 where the virus just did what it did, although that was a much more virulent type of virus. I mean, virulent, deadly. I mean, it killed people right and left. I don't know that you really could have sheltered in place long enough for anything to, well, because it went so quickly. Which, you know, kind of, you know, when you think about, well, look how quickly it went. I mean, yeah, it did, right, but in each particular area, it didn't last, you know, terribly long. Anyway, I'll have to, I need to look up more of the history of that, but, you know, it went around the world 3 times, right, in 2 years. So, I mean, it's pretty fast. In that day and age, where people, you know, didn't have, you know, couldn't just hop in their car and go, you know, drive 100, 200, 300 miles to go see somebody. Anyway, these are just questions I've been pondering, but, you know, I think that, so back to the original point, there has to be a certain percentage of the population that is infected before, and I think it has to do with population density too, but before we can really consider that it's over. You know, China is not over it by any means. They're not over it. Now, they don't care. They'll lock everybody down until everybody starves to death. But because they've got people to burn, and that's the way they look at people. You know, they're just things. The leadership over there, they're just things to be used and discarded when it's all over. I don't know what that magic number is. I would expect it would be a rather high number, like maybe 75 or 80% before the virus stops here. But even so, all it takes is one person getting infected in China again, and nobody recognizing it, and then people coming here to our country, and then, you know, if New York City has a population of 10 million and 70% the virus stops at 7 million, that leaves 3 million people. See what I mean? The numbers don't lie. I don't have to be an MD to use some common sense about this. So, just like cheer you up this morning with some, you know, some kind of like disturbing facts, really. But oh well. Hope you have a good day. I'm kind of depressed, actually. But we're going to do what we can do. We're going to lock it down, like I said on the other video, probably by Tuesday. And we'll just hope, you know, we'll hope that enough other people, I mean, that's what it's cold, and it really, you know, it's like, well, we're just hoping everybody else gets infected, and, You know, because I can't do anything about it. I can't do anything about other people dying or making bad choices or whatever. All I can do is do what we can do and tell our children to do what we do and hope they pay attention. All right. Got questions or comments? Leave them in the section below. Like and subscribe. We appreciate when you do. It's going to be a long 4 weeks. I can tell you that here in North Carolina. See you on the next video.